Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of the Brett and Matt Show. As always, he's Brett, I'm Matt, and there's not a ton of sports news going on. We're going to try and touch on a few topics. We'll save the better part, I guess, for last. Is it's getting to be football season. We're all getting an itch for it. But we'll start off with a little NBA news. So I'm extremely happy. The Milwaukee Bucks are, in all likelihood, going to be staying in Milwaukee. The Wisconsin Senate voted on the new Bucks Arena proposal, and they only needed 17 votes to pass it, and they got 21, and so it's 21 for the arena, 10 against it, but the vast majority decided that they thought it'd be better for the state, and so we'll now move on to the assembly, which it was already perceived that the assembly was already in favor for it, so in all likelihood, I don't see why that would change now after seeing how many of the senators voted on it. So, but I'm happy. I know there's some people that are probably unhappy, and I understand. But I'm guessing the majority of people, the 5 people that watch this show, are probably happy.
Right, and it sucks because I actually just had somebody admit to me the other day. They're like, "Oh, hey, do you guys still do that thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, we do it every fucking week. Why aren't you watching our show?" Mentioned, just the 5 that are watching. No, it's obviously a pretty good deal, for the fans that are there and they want to, continue supporting the Bucks and not have that sort of resentment that, teams in Seattle can't cheer for the Thunder or anything like that. They hate the Thunder for whatever reason, despite the players themselves having been, some of them, former Sonics. Now, it sounded like there was something that changed, right, in the way that the bill was written or where the funds were coming from that got a couple more extra votes out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the details. All I know is, if for once, this doesn't seem to happen near often enough as it should, but for once, Democrats and Republicans both, got together, tried to hammer out a deal where both parties knew they weren't going to be totally happy, but they could both, agree on something and get a deal done that I think both parties know that it's probably pretty important for the state to be able to keep the Bucks team and, hopefully, future revenue and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it did sound like they both sides worked together to get the thing done, and I just don't happen to know the details on what exactly was changed, but I do know the verbiage is pretty specific in the bill.
It from what I saw or heard, it was like $80 million that was supposed to be paid off over 20 years, so it'd be like $4 million a year, was changed from uncollectible revenue from some other place or something. I don't remember exactly the terminology that was used, but it went from that to being now there's going to be a service fee, essentially. So any ticket that you buy is going to have like an additional $4 or $5 tacked on.
And as a Bucks fan, I'm okay with that. I mean, I care about the team. I'll pay an extra $4 to go to the game to be able to watch the Bucks.
Yeah. So whether that means, ticket prices stay the same plus the 5, or whether for the sake of the fans, the owners are going to say, okay, well, we'll just kind of cut it in half so they see less revenue themselves, but they still get the $5 somehow mixed in. So that was actually something that the owners didn't want to have happen, was that specific change, but it sounds like that specific change is what actually got some extra votes. So, I mean, that probably worked out for them in the better because they were obviously very invested, it sounds like, in staying in Wisconsin. So even if they kind of have to bite a small bullet there, and maybe not have as much direct revenue for those, 20 years, but either way, they're obviously still happy to have a team.
And they actually purchased some land over in the Milwaukee area really recently as well. And I mean, they made an investment, and I feel like both the owners for the Bucks obviously are very successful financially. They both know what they're doing. So I would think that, they'd probably understand, hey, if we take a little hit here, it's going to be for the better. So that's big news, because I tell you right now, this living here in Wisconsin, the vibe I got was people were nervous, at least Bucks fans, I should say, were nervous. Kind of a heated argument. People, really just politics in Wisconsin have kind of been all over the place. And this was one of the issues. I don't get into politics very much, but I will be the first to admit this is one of the issues I really did care about. And I understand now why people get like drained from politics, because it's emotional. Like when you start like investing time, and I mean, I don't ever hardly like do these things, but I actually, send an email to one of the legislators saying, trying to support the arena, and like to think I tried to do my part. But some of the radio guys around Wisconsin definitely worked really hard to get the word out about the arena and to get people on the phones calling legislators and letting them know that, it's going to affect how we vote next go around if the Bucks leave. And the Senators heard that, and they did what I feel like a lot of people wanted. And all in all, I think it's going to be a good deal for the state of Wisconsin, a good deal for the Bucks. And you kind of mentioned, obviously the two landing destinations would have been Las Vegas and Seattle. Well, Seattle is not going to be getting an NBA team anytime soon now. I actually just read an article today about how this guy must be a beat writer for somewhere over in Seattle, and he was pretty much just saying how this was their best shot to get an NBA team. Like the NBA's Adam Silver said they're not doing an expansion anytime soon. This was it. And he said by that vote going through, he's like, well, we pretty much just killed our chances of getting an NBA team. So now the rumor is Seattle is going to try and go all in to get an NHL team, because the NHL is looking to expand. So,
which is funny. I mean, Seattle might make some sense. At least it's close-ish to Canada. Why there's a hockey team in Phoenix, I have no freaking idea, but that sounds really stupid. And also, so with Seattle being out of it, I believe the commissioner of the NBA, Silver, said the other day that Vegas wouldn't be getting a team anytime soon either. So it's kind of like no shit, guys. We probably really could have even worked harder to have the owners pay more, since Seattle's not getting a team and Vegas isn't getting a team. And they probably never were getting a team. It's just always a little fun for the owners to try to save a little bit of money, which that is exactly why I was thinking that, they probably should and could front most of it, simply because there was like a 0% chance that they would really leave, even if they couldn't get funding, because they would have to switch it, because there's not somebody in Vegas that's going to buy them, and there's not someone in Seattle. But either way, I'm happy that the team's still there. It gives me something to cheer for. I'm as big of a geocentric homer as there is. Anything to go with Wisconsin, I'm all for it. And we have a good young team. There's reason to be excited. Reason to be excited. Hopefully we can stick around, and continue. Well, we're not doing Fear of the Deer anymore. It's obviously Own the Future. Hopefully hopefully the future comes sooner than later. Because if you just keep owning the future, you never own the present, which... Hey, at least we're not doing what the 76ers are busy doing, okay? They don't know what they're doing, and nothing seems to be working for them ever. And that's fine. I'm glad I'm not a Philly fan. Sorry, Natalie Purrs, I know you're from Philly and a big Philly area sports fan, but it's kind of rough being a Sixers fan, I would imagine as well. The last little NBA tidbit we have, Josh Smith signed with the LA Clippers for the veteran minimum. He had bigger offers from teams like the Sacramento, the Kings, and decided that he was going to take the veteran minimum because he can, and he's completely fine with that. I guess. What are your thoughts on that? Veteran minimum seems like not a lot, but hey, that's fine. Why the Clip? Why didn't he just did Houston not offer him anything? Did they not want him back, or are they gonna be like, yo, Sam Decker, you're like our Josh Smith replacement guy who can occasionally hit a lot of threes, but is more better an athlete than anything else? Honestly, I don't know if they wanted him back. Maybe they just decided they didn't. I mean, he's a bad free throw shooter. Terrible, which is why him on the Kings would have been hilarious with him and Rondo. Well, you mean him and Dwight, and him and Dwight weren't good enough.
God.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that was – now that he's on the Clippers, though, him and DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan.
So that's going to be I mean, I guess it's nice for them, though, because they finally add some extra, front court depth behind Jordan and
they have
Blake
Paul
Griffin.
Pierce, too, and
Paul Pierce and him. Yeah, so they've got a couple extra pieces now that obviously with a healthy Chris Paul, assuming he stays healthy all season. And JJ Redick, that's a pretty good lineup.
Not bad.
Not bad. Couple old. I mean, obviously Paul Pierce, who you don't know what he's going to give you. He did play, pretty well for the most part in Washington. So, and he's reunited
pretty good coach too with Doc Rivers.
Good coach. Maybe a better GM than we were giving him credit for. Probably not, but
maybe he learned something.
Maybe you gotta learn from your mistakes at some point, right?
Josh, as much as we just made fun of Josh Smith, he is a pretty good guy coming off the bench. If you can get him to buy into that, he's an above average athlete still. He plays decent defense. He rebounds. Not a good free throw shooter. Kind of reminds me a little bit of maybe some Andre Iguodala in his ability to play defense and attack the rim.
Maybe. I don't think I put him probably at the Iggy level. I don't think Iggy ever got the respect he deserved. I know we talked about that, I think, honestly, last year or 2 years ago when he signed with Golden State.
That's true.
Talking about him being almost like a Scottie Pippen-ish type player.
What is it with you and comparing everyone to Scottie Pippen?
I'm just not. Who else did I compare
to Scottie Pippen? You compared Kawhi Leonard to Scottie Pippen. You compared Andre Iguodala to Scottie Pippen. Who's next?
Well, we're gonna go with Sam Deck. No, I'm just kidding, because Sam doesn't play that kind of defense.
Right now, Sam hasn't played at all because he's injured.
He is, but that's fine, I guess.
Fine.
I guess his first taste of NBA action is going to be with the real boys instead of some scout team dudes, basically in summer league. That's what 85% of these guys are. I mean, there's maybe 2 or 3 guys on like each team that are like legitimate NBA talent that's going to get signed. So
you're making fun of Josh Gosser and Trayvon Jackson. That's not very nice.
Hey, Douye Dukin's playing well for the Kings, too.
He's not going to make the team.
He's not going to make the team, but he's playing well. It's just nice to see his numbers go over 10 points a game. He's playing better in the summer league than he did with the actual, college team with Wisconsin.
Well, he probably wasn't limited in Bo Ryan's offense.
Hey, Bo Ryan didn't limit him. It was Douye, if you can shoot the 3 and you're open, shoot the 3, okay? But Douye did go through a little lull in his shooting. That had nothing to do with Bo. Also, sometimes an occasionally weak around the rim type guy, despite being 6'10". And so those Euro guys, he's a Euro type guy. Okay?
He's a Euro type guy. Fair enough.
He'll have a long career in Europe, I'm sure.
What about our boy Frank Kaminsky though? He's been playing decent basketball. I'm telling you, I think he's got some staying power in the league. I just feel bad that he's on the Hornets.
Well, and I kind of feel bad that, as we've talked about before, that he got drafted to a team that almost went with the Philadelphia 76ers role of just drafting guys at the same position. He happens to be the third one. Might be the best of the 3. It's kind of hard to say, though, where a guy like, Noah Vonleh could end up, and even Cody Zeller, who's obviously really good, was one of the best freshmen in college basketball when he was here at Indiana. I don't really know. It does kind of suck, though, because obviously – Charlotte's one of those places that hasn't really improved. They're just kind of stuck. Remember like when the Bucks with Andrew Bogut were like just good enough to make the playoffs, but never actually good enough to do anything.
That was when owner was Herb Cole.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's where we're gonna be at, and that's because Herb Cole never had like the. He didn't like losing, and he didn't even feel the need. He never was into that tanking thing, so he would always try to get some sort of roster and get us in position to make the playoffs, and I feel like Charlotte's mostly in that same sort of position.
It's a very good comparison.
Where, bottom of the playoffs, if they make the playoffs, are good enough not to be like a top 5 pick. So never tanking and never really doing damage, just in the middle always.
Yeah, that's That's a good point. So with that said, we're gonna jump over to some NFL talk, and with the deadline for contracts, was looming this week. Some deals got done, and both Des Bryant and Demaryius Thomas signed very similar contracts. Both were $70 million over 5 years. Des, I think, was 45 guaranteed, and Demaryius was 43. So what are your thoughts on these contracts?
Well, considering, there was talk if deals didn't get done that the league was going to get sued by the NFLPA, or that the owners or something were going to sue them because of collusion, it's kind of interesting that in the end both of their deals end up being about the same. Now, how much were the teams actually talking to each other? I don't know. Apparently, Stephen Jones said something directly to Des Bryant that he was talking with them about, Demaryius's deal and seeing where they were at, which would have been cause for concern. But I think that obviously both those guys are definitely worth those deals. Being one of the highest paid receivers other than Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson still makes more.
Yeah, Calvin still makes more, as he probably should.
Yeah, he probably should.
But it is kind of funny where
I don't know though. Dez is so good.
Dez is really good, and Demaryius is really good too.
I think I would take Dez over Demaryius. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I think they're both really good.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'd take Dez.
And if I had one receiver I'm going to throw the ball up to, I think I would take Dez over Kelvin Johnson. I just do. Maybe that's a silly decision, though.
I don't know. Was Calvin Johnson healthy?
He was battling injuries all year.
And has he been healthy for the last 2 years even?
No, he's been kind of up and down. Although it was pretty recently where he was on a tear. I wonder, was that 3 years ago? Or maybe that was 2 years ago even.
Where he was about to break some records, right?
Yeah, he was dominating.
I think that was 3 years ago, but I could be wrong.
Nah, you're probably right. It's probably 3 years ago.
But yeah, they're obviously two of the best receivers. It does make the deals for Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb look pretty nice, though, considering combined they're making like $80 million, and each one of these guys is making $70. So it's a pretty good deal. Ted Thompson strikes again, getting solid deals out of these players, right? Come on, Matt, you gotta love it.
I like it. Don't look at me. I've been a Ted Thompson supporter. I get a little frustrated sometimes in free agency, but
How nervous were you honestly
about how the guy drafts? Some people seem to really dislike how he drafts for some silly reason, and apparently have no idea how good our roster is or how bad we would be if he wasn't running the show.
Yeah, we'd probably have a lot more guys because I think Green Bay, I think we mentioned it before. They had like one guy on the entire roster that came for or played for another team. Like actually was on the roster at some point.
Us and the Chicago Bears are literally the complete opposite.
And look where Chicago's at.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of, okay, so totally random, but I got to thinking of Chicago. Did you read that piece on Brett Favre from
I did. That he went in 2008 he might have ended up or something in Chicago.
You really wanted to play in Chicago and Minnesota? Why? Why specifically those teams? Now getting off topic, but did he? And why not Detroit? Did Detroit have?
Okay, first off, Detroit stunk, so they weren't even in the conversation. The Vikings had Adrian Peterson, and the Bears were actually
still had Brian Urlacher. I know him and Urlacher got along.
They did. They both had a very big mutual respect for each other. And he wanted to stick it to the Packers because of your boy.
Who? Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, Ted Thompson, and Mike McCarthy all together.
All of them. Yeah, well, because they said they didn't have a shot. You didn't have a shot at starting. They're just going to give it to Rodgers regardless.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said you don't even get to compete for your job. Really? Come on.
How often do you hear
Aaron Rodgers do that year? Oh, yeah, that's right. We didn't make the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is busy throwing interceptions to the other team that year.
Neither did the Jets, did they?
That's because Brett Favre tore his tricep. He got hurt.
Then what? Let's just say he did that in Green Bay.
Hey, did Aaron Rodgers make the Pro Bowl? Because Brett Favre did.
That's because the voting happened so early. He was terrible the last 4 weeks. He had his own players in New York hating on him. Thomas Jones, no. Who was the running back? They didn't think he should have even been playing the last couple of weeks with his injury that he didn't tell anyone about, and he was playing poorly. I don't remember who it was, but I remember that being a thing. His own teammates did not want him playing. They thought he was playing poorly.
He's a tough SOB, Brett. Come on.
It's cost the Jets the playoffs.
They weren't going to make the playoffs anyways.
But they were like 6-1.
Well, stuff happens, man. It's the NFL.
They pulled the Bears. The Bears have done that a couple times, haven't they?
They haven't. They got Lovie Smith fired.
Now he gets to coach poor Tampa Bay. Probably the first
Tampa Bay. I can't wait. Oh, by the way, we're making some bets. All right, making some bets. I am excited. I have a work bet going on. I'm gonna make probably the same bet with you because I think I can double up here. I can get one of the guys that listens to our podcast. He's gonna love this. My bet is Tampa Bay will make the playoffs as a wild card. And I said that last year, and I lost a candy bar on the bet. Because they went from being in the playoffs to being the worst freaking team in the league.
You're wrong again. They will not make the playoffs.
Come on. Are you serious? It could be a flip of a coin for who wins that crappy division.
Could be.
Famous Jameis, baby.
Famous Jameis. You're right. I don't know. I don't think he'll be able to lead them. Mostly because that team or that division, obviously everything was so close. But if I was picking teams again with quarterbacks, every other quarterback in that division is better than Jameis, or I would put them ahead of him currently.
Let's see, if I had ranked quarterbacks in the division.
Drew Brees,
Cam Newton,
Matty Ice. Matty Ice is your boy. You think he's like number 3 in the country or something, probably.
He's number 2. Let's see. So we got Cam Newton, Matty Ice, Famous Jameis, and Drew Brees.
That's the order you put them in? You're out of your flipping mind.
We can't agree on everything, Brett. Drew Brees is taking a step back, man.
You're playing too much Batman. You're laughing like the Joker over here. This is crazy. This is absurd, sir.
Have you seen Drew Brees' flabby arms, his biceps and his triceps? It looks like, come on, it's like my grandpa throwing a football. Are you serious?
This isn't a Mr. Universe competition, Matt. It's a quarterback competition.
Yeah, and he stinks.
Stinks.
Brett, how did the Saints do last year?
Come on, there were a lot of issues down there, all right?
Yeah, it started with their quarterback. Busy throwing to the other team.
I think his decline is over-exaggerated last year. Not to say that he won't be even worse this year.
Better watch out, though, for my Falcons. Your boy Tevin Coleman from Indiana's on that team. Got healthy Julio Jones, and they got the stud, Matty Ice. Better watch out, man. Better watch out.
They did sign a lot on defense, didn't they?
Well, you know what? They're just gonna try and outscore everyone. That's their only goal.
Dude, if I had Julio, he'd be another one of those guys that when his deal is up, I don't know when he's gonna get to sign a contract, but he's gonna be making
He's
some
so
money.
good. Him and AJ Green. AJ Green's darn good too.
AJ Green's gonna make some money. You know, Odell Beckham's gonna make himself some money in
Beckham
about
Jr.
2 years from now.
So good.
There's a lot of receivers they're gonna make after this Dez and Demarius thing, and with do they have a cap increase coming up at all soon? Like in the NFL, like they do? I know it's not NBA level type increase, but they got to be.
I mean, the cap's gonna keep going up, but I don't think it's gonna go up. It's definitely not gonna go up the 30% that the NBA is gonna go up. Some ridiculous amount. I mean, the cap's gonna go up every year for the NFL. Teams are gonna have more money to spend. I mean, I actually read something the other day that Des Bryant here goes and signs like 20. He gets like $20 million guaranteed for like a signing bonus or something like that. And I read that I think it was It was like one of the mid-90 years that Michael Irvin signed a record signing bonus of like $5 million.
Money's it's going up fast.
Good time to be a pro athlete, man. I should be a pro basketball player the way they're handing out money there. Kidding me?
Basketball, baseball. Of all the NFL has the lowest average income or lowest average salary by player of all the 4 major sports, including hockey.
I mean, they do play the
Fewest
least amount of games by far. God, though, the NBA, I tell you, just silly. Like, guys who are very average getting very large deals.
Fact. We didn't talk about that at all. Cantor, right?
Ernest Cantor and Reggie Jackson, the 2 of their contracts are bigger than Des Bryant and Demaryius Thomas's contract value. That's ridiculous. 2 very average players are bigger than 2 of the best receivers in the NFL.
And it's funny, too, because obviously, like, James Harden got traded or released or whatever happened there in Oklahoma City just so they could avoid having to go into the luxury tax. And then this year they got forced – well, they could have let him go, but they signed Cantor into the luxury tax. So it's like, wait a second. You guys made the decision at some point to avoid luxury tax and get rid of Harden, but you decided to keep Cantor and stay in or to get into the luxury. I just would have let him go. I've been like, all right, that's fine.
Have fun paying $70 million to that guy.
Right? I mean, I guess because he's one of those guys that his stats, if you look at him, he's 18 points and 11 rebounds, I think, when he was on the team. So he's getting good numbers. But former teammates have kind of called him out on being an empty stats kind of guy. Like, he doesn't really do a whole lot to positively affect the game overall, despite his stats looking good. His defense is horrible. One of the worst defensive centers in the game. He allowed the highest percentage of shots made at the rim while playing defense, I think, in the league. So he's, despite being statistically looking like a really good player, he's probably very overrated, and hopefully the NBA kind of catches up with some of the analytic stats and you don't see really average or below average guys at certain positions making the money that he just kind of signed for.
It's true.
To go back to the NBA, obviously we're just talking NFL, but
so, I mean, yeah, I guess, as far as the last big contract domino that fell was Justin Houston. Total contract value of $101 million. Yeah, he got paid. Yeah. I think. He eclipsed Clay Matthews as the highest paid linebacker too, I believe.
Yep. Yeah. Well, Matthews is making almost like half of that. I feel like. Like, Matthews' deal is for a lot less, right? Ted Thompson's got magic negotiation skills. He knows when to. Like, all right, guys, I'm going to sign you guys now before all these young bucks get their big money, and then our deals will look good. And hopefully,
can't argue with how the Packers manage their cap. That's for sure.
And I think Houston's deal was the second biggest for any defensive player outside of Sue's contract.
Sue, yep, Sue's in front of them. Boy, J.J. Watt is behind both of them.
He is. Houston's getting a steal at $100 million. What? Come on, the guy. What do you guys say?
They were like the 15th ranked defense. At least Sue gets his defense to like be ranked 4th or 1st or whatever they were ranked.
Well, he also had a lot better supporting cast. All right.
I would take Cushing over Levy. What is wrong with you?
No, just no.
Oh, I would take Clowney over both of them.
Oh, great. He didn't play. That doesn't help anybody.
Well, theoretically, I would take
Wait, did you say you'd take Clowney over who? Levy and Cushing?
I would take Levy. I would take Clowney over who would be Ziggy Ansah. Is that the guy's name? Because he's probably going to be a pass rusher. So I would take him over that guy. And see. Oh no, I can't do that. I would take Cameron Wake over Clowney probably. God, Cameron Wake's a beast. Oh, that defensive line should be good.
They are going to be really good. It kind of stinks though because they're finally getting Sue there, but Cameron Wake's probably on the back half of his career, so
he is. Everyone forgets that guy's been in the league for a while, and I think he played in Canada for a while too.
Yeah, he did. He had a couple years, I think, up in Canada, so he's a lot older than people probably imagine him being. And obviously, Deion Jordan, I think is the kid's name.
Oh my God,
he's just not doing anything. I don't even know if is he still on the team or did they trade him yet?
I think he's still on the team, but he hasn't been doing good at all. Yeah,
Sad
that's
line.
a big miss.
Bad miss for them. He's still going to be a couple because he was a first-round pick, so he's got a couple $1 million that he's going to have after he
Yeah,
retires.
he was like the third overall pick. I could be wrong on that. I am just going off maybe memory, but I thought he was really high up there.
You're right.
Yeah, otherwise, I mean, the only other news I can think of that we could debate, Brett thinks that Russell Wilson's a top 10 quarterback and that he should be paid like one. Actually, Russell Wilson thinks he should be paid like an elite caliber quarterback.
You know, Russell, well, his agent's probably kind of an idiot because I think his agent has been a baseball agent, and so some of his negotiating skills might not be that great because apparently his negotiating tactic is, oh, well, Russell Wilson has a bunch of wins. Well, that's great, but, you know, most people are becoming smart enough now to figure out that, sure, he's got a lot of wins, but it's still a team game, and quarterback wins is a really stupid stat for the most part.
And you play in Seattle, where we run the ball a lot. So if you don't want to take our not elite caliber money, then you can leave and we'll just replace you and figure out someone else who can throw little dinky passes.
Russell Wilson.
Not that I'm saying, come on, you get what I'm saying.
Passes.
Get what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he just throws
passed
dinky
in
passes.
Green Bay in the playoffs, did it?
You know, Brett, your boy Aaron Rodgers choked again in the playoffs. So I don't know what you want me to say. Brett Favre wouldn't have done that.
You're right.
Brett Favre would have got us in the Super Bowl.
And then, no, he wouldn't have. He threw that interception against the Giants in overtime.
Because Donald Driver didn't run the right route.
Please, that ball was up in the air for a long time. That's a horrible decision.
What? It was a great decision. Driver was busy on the ground making snow angels instead of catching the football.
I think you're misremembering, sir. It's a misremember.
No, but in all seriousness, you really think Russell Wilson's a top 10 quarterback, Brett?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Go through. Name 10 that are better quarterbacks. Right
that I would rather have behind center.
Behind center, and you're picking them because we're talking about contract extensions. So let's just say for the next 4 years.
Okay. Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Wait, does that mean I get to say Tom Brady? He might not be playing in 4 years.
He said he wants to play till he's like 45, didn't he?
Tom Brady. Drew Brees isn't going to last another 4 years. Are you kidding me?
Okay, so we can't put him on the list.
Andrew Luck.
Okay, that's a good choice, and I won't disagree.
Philip Rivers.
Okay.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Mm-hmm.
Matty Ice. Fine, I'll say Matty Ice for later. Cam Newton, though. Are you serious? Oh, come on, Brett. You're going to tell me right now you'd rather have Russell Wilson than Cam Newton? If you put Cam Newton on Seattle, Seattle definitely wins the Super Bowl this year. Come on. This is blasphemous.
Probably because they would have ran the ball at the end.
They would have called quarterback power.
Would have been a different game, different style. Still rather have Russ, I think.
Oh, my
It's pretty close. I think Cam's underrated, too, for a lot of things, though he does make some
plays behind a crappy offensive line, crappy run game, rookie receiver who can't catch the ball.
That's true. It didn't help him, that's for sure.
Eli Manning.
Man, you're stretching already. You've got 5 legitimate dudes, and now you're just in that rotation where Russ is with all these guys.
Oh, Colin Kaepernick?
I'd say Romo, and you hate Kaepernick. Let's be serious. You're not even thinking that that's close.
Yeah, he's going to be a bust. Or he's not going to be around. Okay, so let's see.
We got Romo.
Okay, fine. Tony Romo. Yeah, Tony Romo.
We're at 6. And then it's a cluster of guys that are realistically probably third tier.
Wait, you said I get 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Famous Jameis, baby. Put him in there.
No.
Oh, what?
You're going to take Jameis Winston before you take Russell Wilson, before you even see Jameis play in the NFL?
Damn it. Matt Ryan, I would come on.
So fine. 7.
Ryan Tannehill? He's getting
No.
paid. He's getting paid like an elite quarterback.
Right, and I think obviously Russell. What is he getting paid? $16 million a year. So we know Russell Wilson's over that. So got to elevate that to 19 to 20, just based on Tannehill's deal, right? I think I like Tannehill too. Please.
Yeah, that's not a good one. Oh, Teddy Bridgewater, baby. Bridgewater.
I'm a Bridgewater fan. If you want to include him in there, that's cool. You can't put another rookie quarterback in
projection. So let's see. Jay Cutler won't be around. Oh, how can I forget?
Stafford?
Matty Stafford. He's a young guy, man.
He is a young guy. Still don't know if I'd rather have him over Russell Wilson. But so you're at 9, which puts Russell Wilson at 10. If assuming that you're okay with all those guys.
Joe Flacco.
No, God, no.
He's got as many Super Bowl rings, Brett, and he was a Super Bowl MVP.
Cool story.
Joe Flacco,
you know who else was a Super Bowl MVP? Once that guy that played safety for Tampa Bay. Don't even remember his name.
Dexter Jackson.
I knew it was Dexter. I was going to say something else for a last name, but I didn't remember what it was.
Fine. So I'm come on. Fine. Borderline top 10, Brett. Come on.
Sure. That's fine. He's still top 10, and if you're going to have Tannehill anywhere near that list, you got to have Russell Wilson above wherever you put Tannehill. And I think you got to have him. He's probably, I would say, equal to, let's see, because obviously Rodgers and Brady.
You're lucky you said 4 years because I didn't get to include Peyton Manning. Because Manning is going to be busy watching TV like the rest of us.
After this year, probably.
Probably.
Had they won the Super Bowl last year, probably would have been last year.
This is true. I could have said Blake Bortles.
So how about?
Oh, I should have put Derek Carr in that conversation. In all seriousness.
Lord, come on! I'm a Carr fan also, but no.
Really? You don't think in 4 years he'll be a top 10 quarterback? Are you serious? Really?
No, I don't.
Oh my! Come on!
He won't be one of the bottom quarterback, bottom 10. He won't be top 10. He's going to be in that mid range.
Really? Wow! Come on! I thought you liked that guy.
I do like that guy. Apparently, I like average.
They were crappy last year. At least all his fault. Fine. So Russ is a borderline top 10 guy, but he thinks he deserves Aaron Rodgers money. Come on.
Well, when did Rodgers sign his deal? Was that last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
See, so the value of the position every year goes up. So
no one's making more than him, are they? The quarterback position still?
Then Rodgers?
Yeah, or is someone making more now? Cam Newton's got to be. Come on, Brett.
No, Rodgers on a per year deal is actually still the highest. Though the way it's structured, again, thank you, Ted Thompson and company. The way it's structured is he's got years where his money value on the cap hit is less than guys like Flacco's deal, who's got paid.
It's all backloaded.
Yeah, so the way that Rodgers is structured, I don't think he's ever actually the highest paid quarterback on a salary cap hit level any year, though his per year salary average is highest.
I think Cam Newton got a ton of money when he signed his deal.
Probably.
Maybe Russ should say that he deserves something similar to that. I guess I could buy in.
Into Cam Newton, right? You'd put him.
They're similar players. Russ is probably a better passer. I just wonder. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I like Russ a lot. I just wonder if he would be able to do the same things if he didn't have as good of an offensive line or running game in front of him. But those are lots of what ifs.
I almost feel like it would almost be more fun to watch him behind a worse offensive line.
Because he'd have to run for his life. And I have to admit, as far as a quarterback goes as keeping their eyes down the field, I think him and Rodgers are probably the top two at it. Luck's pretty good too. But guys, as far as always looking to hit the big play while rolling out and making people miss, first two I think of are Rodgers and probably Russ. Both of them are very dangerous when they escape the pocket.
And in a similar way, where I think obviously a guy like Roethlisberger is a guy that in pressure still gets the ball off downfield. Now he escapes way different than Rodgers and Russ Wilson do because those guys are a little bit quicker. Yeah, and he just shrugs guys off because he's a humongous dude. So he does it a lot different, which is probably I would think I'd rather have a guy like Russ or Rodgers just because I don't want my quarterback to have to shrug guys off if he doesn't have to. If he could just avoid getting hit in general, I much prefer that. But yeah, obviously Roethlisberger, as far as keeping his eyes downfield and making big plays, is also one of those guys that I feel like he gets underrated a lot. I don't know why.
Big Ben?
Yeah, I feel like he's really good.
I honestly think part of it's a mentality thing. I mean, I still hear Steelers, and I think power run team with, stud defense, even if I don't know how good they are passing. Like, that's just what I think of.
Right. And a lot of it, too, is because obviously early in his career, he was a game manager, where they won the Super Bowl and the best pass was thrown by a wide receiver in that game. So
also one of the worst officiated Super Bowls I've ever watched in my life.
Fact, Seattle probably should have won that, and Hasselbeck could have a ring.
It's true. Wow. Mike Holmgren could have another ring.
Think about that. If Matt Hasselbeck had a ring as a starter, would you consider he was good? He was good.
He was a good quarterback for a long time.
One of my favorite memories is we'll take the ball and we're going to score. He threw it to the wrong team, which was pretty funny.
That was a great memory. he threw it to Al Harris. Got cocky, didn't realize that the PA thing was on, and that's what you get, man. Karma.
Karma indeed. But, man, we just went on like a 20-minute rant about quarterbacks. That's kind of cool.
Hopefully we'll get into more NFL talks with, the season coming around. Maybe, maybe we can figure out some more NFL topics since, now.
When does preseason start? That's got to be coming up, right? Because there's only 2 weeks till August. So I think, is the Hall of Fame game in like 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's not that far away. Oh, quick shout out. Packers fans, Brett Favre is retiring. His getting his number retired in Lambeau. That's happening this weekend.
And they got the that game at Camp Randall, right?
Yep, and the game's the very next day, Sunday, at Camp Randall. If you're in Wisconsin, you still want to get tickets. I know tickets are available still. I don't think tickets are still available for the Hall of Fame induction. I'm pretty sure those sold out really fast. One of our buddies is going, though, so I'm jealous.
To the Hall of Fame induction?
Yes, he is.
Is it Kyle?
Yep, you betcha. Told me that last week, and I was like, are you serious? I was like, why didn't you invite me? He goes, oh, well, my uncle got tickets. Tell your uncle, thanks for inviting me. I would have went.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. I think they sold like 20,000 tickets, you said, right? For the, it's a flag football game with a bunch of old dudes.
And all the money goes to charity, too. So it's going to a good cause.
Nice. But, so yeah, well, hopefully we should tell Kyle to take some video and let him post it on our page.
Yeah, right.
That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, until then, we'll see you guys next week. And who knows? If you guys have any ideas on what we want to talk about or what we should talk about, give us a shout out. All right. We won't get any shout outs.